morning is from Mary Jane, who's going to talk to us about design thinking and improv in college settings, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Do we have amazing, amazing people as part of this organization? I continue to be astounded and, yeah. So this is my talk. Yeah, and, you know, I was signing up to register for this, and it was like, you want to offer anything? And, yeah, that's what I wrote down. That's what I wrote down. Actually, what I realized this talk is really about making a mess, how I do it, and to encourage you to do it a little more, too. Yeah, and I just wanted you to know I am a credible speaker. I do have experience. So that took a semester to actually hit the target. Okay, so I've been doing this for 17 years. I started in 1999, and I taught a little college improvisational storytelling at first as I was getting on my feet, and then I got busy enough with work, and that was great, and so then I was just doing it full time. And then in 2010, I was asked to offer a course with design thinking and improvisation. And I had art background. I'm like, okay, design thinking, and I said what I thought it was, and they're like, again, no, but we would like you to teach the class. The standards are low in Michigan. So anyway, I, of course, imagined the worst. And, you know, but I thought, all right, well, I'll give this a try. And so I thought, I better go online and learn what design thinking is. So I went to WikiLeaks. Can I just read this out loud because it gives me such joy to write, design thinking refers to design-specific activities that designers apply during the process of designing. How could you not know what it is, right? Thought, okay, I'm going to learn from the experts because I don't want to look like a fool when I'm teaching. So I did, and here's what I learned. There are 7 stages. Oh, whoops. No, there are 3 phases, actually. Yeah, actually, that's wrong, too. No, there's 5. 5 phases. Actually, 4 cycles. 6 traits. 6. Oh, no. 7 steps. 7 steps, and actually, 3 steps. Okay, that's it. No, rather 6 parts. And then finally, there are 4 key elements. Unbelievable. Honestly, you can find all of that. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a mess. But I had already said yes and signed a contract. And yeah, that's when it hit me. I am qualified. I can do that. Yeah, I can make a mess and get paid for it. So, and then it occurred to me when I did go to the D School, and thankfully they are doing some great leadership in this area. And on the left are there 3, whatever those are, things. And they fit nicely, really nicely, with how I've been trying to capture what applied improvisation is, right? Accept, build, act. Okay, we're listening, we're working to understand, we're gathering information, and then we experiment, and then at some point, we just have to get out there and make a mess. Because our job, right, is we'll leave patterns alone that are working, right? Why mess with those? They're working. Our job is to identify the patterns that are not working, interrupt those. And that's where we get humor, that's where we get surprise, and that's where we get creativity, right? That's our job. Go in and find the things that aren't working and mess them up, right? But there are a couple things I learned that I needed, because you never can do this stuff alone. So there were a couple champions, risk takers, who are in the university, and they're the ones that said, yeah, we think you can do this, because they believe in possibilities, and they went in first to mess things up ahead of me, so it wasn't so hard for me. And that meant they took on administration, and they took on what does it mean curriculum, and all kinds of things. And so you need some champions around you. And they knew, and this is why they were willing to make a mess, is because they knew we need more creative, empathetic collaborators. These are, Kendall College of Art and Design is an art school. And a lot of artists are really good. They draw, they paint, they sculpt. And then they're not so good at talking with people. However, what they're great at is seeing connections and seeing the whole. And so Gail DeBrine and John Barry said, you know what? If we take these brilliant artistic minds and we get them into the room with other people, they can help make connections. So we need them to have self-confidence that they have something to offer. And we think the way they can get that is with some applied improvisation, and it made a lot of sense to me. So what was required of me? Well, I had to be willing to live with some mess. So I'm a planner. I planned a whole 15, what were they, classes? Yeah, super articulate. 15 classes, 3 hours a class. I laid it all out, got in there, and you know what? They were human beings, and they had ideas too. What? So we got near the end of, well, actually halfway through the first class. I said, how do you think it's going? And they think, well, this is well, and this is not so good. So we sat down, what would you change? We changed it, and then at the very end, one girl said, you know, I have my senior seminar coming up, and I have to give a talk. Can I practice in front of the group? And so she did. And all of us sitting there were like, oh, wow, we wish we had known this about you when the class started. And so the next time I taught it, we started with an artist's journey. And then at the end of the course, we heard their journey again and what applied improvisation had done for them as an artist, creative person, and how it had changed them. So I had to be willing to let go of a lot of control and see myself in a different light, which isn't easy. You know, so this is how I see myself, and this is how they saw me. A little bit different. That's one of the posters they put out. It's inappropriate. So they had a lot of reasons to turn around, because it was certainly uncomfortable at times with us being vulnerable with each other and making changes. After teaching it for a while, for 15 weeks, I said, you know what, these kids need it more intense. We have to get to the relationships faster, because then they can take the learning to their other classes. Can I please have them for 1 week solid? Well, I couldn't quite agree to that, but the way I'm teaching it now is 6 Saturdays, 9 to 5, and we can get kids out on Saturdays to do this And they are set up, so by the time we're 6 weeks into school, they've got these skills under their belt. And so, like I said, I'm so glad I didn't. And here are just a few quotes from these kids that are amazing. And I am going to read them. I know you're readers, but sometimes I think it's good to hear these words out loud. I realize how important it is to go with the flow and never shut down someone else's ideas, and I'm able to be silly and honest with myself. The next one. We have learned to, oh, thank you. I wish I had 3 hands, and now I do. Okay. We have learned to read the situation and the people around us, that it's best to be ourselves, and everyone feels like a fool sometimes. And then this last one. My classmates have become a family, and the classroom often feels safer to me than my own home. There is no judgment, no hierarchy, just respect. And you know, these kids do even from a whole variety of backgrounds, and they undergo a lot of stuff. And to feel that, to give kids that, so I'm so glad I didn't turn away. They're the ones that took over marketing the class. They're the ones that said, let's put out playbooks so people can learn about this stuff. They're the ones that put up the posters and started an improv troupe. And then best of all, these are the faces that I saw. Amazing. So, what I learned is to be willing to make a mess. It's worth it. I've been doing this 17 years. Other people have been doing this a long time. And we have a chance to, through this organization, invite more and more and more people into this work. And part of the reason I chose this as the example is because it feels like some low-hanging fruit to me. To have adjunct professors bringing this work to young people as they're starting to think about the career and how to bring people together regardless of what field they go into. So, if you are interested in being a mentor, Sue Walden and Missy Whitus and myself who are working on professional development, and others who are helping us too, I think Kat Coppett. There is a sign-up sheet on the back there, and we'd love to have you join us. So thank you, and at this point I'll ask that we turn the camera off.